Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are breaking down India's fascinating transformation from an agricultural society into an absolute global powerhouse of knowledge and innovation. We hear a lot about India's booming economy, but what's the actual engine behind it today? It isn't just vast tracts of farmland, and it's not just massive manufacturing factories either. There's an entirely different, almost invisible force at play that is completely reshaping the global landscape.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by explaining the fourth sector, then trace India's historical knowledge journey. After that, we'll look at the engines of today, the impact on the economy, the roadblocks in the way, and finally, the future of the knowledge economy.
Part 1. The fourth sector explained.
Wait, a fourth sector? I know. Most of us are totally familiar with the first three: farming, manufacturing, and services. But is there a secret fourth level aggressively driving modern global growth? Absolutely. If you're wondering how human intelligence and creativity became tangible economic resources, this is exactly what we're going to demystify today. It's an invisible sector, but its products are quite literally running the modern world.
So here's the deal. The crucial point is that this sector doesn't rely on extracting raw resources from the earth or pumping out physical goods on an assembly line. The Quaternary Sector relies purely on human intelligence, expertise, and ideas to create something completely new. It is the absolute bedrock foundation of the knowledge economy. We're talking scientific research, complex data processing, and rapid technological innovation.
Think about how human societies naturally evolve. We went from taking resources directly from nature in Stage 1, the agricultural economy, to relying on heavy machinery and factories in Stage 2. From there, we shifted to delivering services in Stage 3, like banking and transport. Stage 4 is where we are right now, the knowledge economy. In this stage, your most valuable assets aren't physical at all. They're things like artificial intelligence algorithms, space research capabilities, and data science models. We've ultimately evolved to a point where the act of creating knowledge itself is the ultimate economic asset.
People mix this up all the time, but there's a vital difference between the third and fourth sectors. While the tertiary, or service sector, delivers existing knowledge, like a dedicated teacher instructing a class of students, or a bank employee providing a standard loan, the quaternary sector actually produces entirely new knowledge and solutions. Think of the specialized scientist developing the cutting-edge educational technology that the teacher uses, or the financial analyst building a brand new predictive market algorithm for the bank. One applies the tools, right? The other invents them.
Part 2. India's historical knowledge journey. To really grasp today's incredible tech boom, we kind of have to step into a time machine. Because you see, this isn't an overnight success story. India's journey is a massive full-circle moment. It starts way back in ancient times, with scholars like Aryabhata shaping the very foundations of mathematics, and institutions like Nalanda University acting as a global learning hub. Fast forward past the colonial period, and you hit 1969, when the Indian Space Research Organization is established. Then the 1990s bring the massive IT revolution, fueled by a huge demographic dividend of highly skilled graduates. And that unbroken thread, it culminates directly in today's explosive digital India and startup boom.
What this essentially tells us is that we're looking at a profound return to form. India is transforming from an ancient knowledge-producing civilization right back into a modern knowledge economy. Those ancient traditions of advanced mathematics, astronomy, and medicine basically paved the psychological and cultural runway for today's technological dominance. It's a modern resurgence of a very old national identity.
Part 3. The engines of today.
Fast forward to the present. What does this actually look like on the ground today? Well, it isn't just theory. These are world-leading operations acting as the modern pillars of the knowledge economy. We're talking about massive IT and cloud computing hubs in Bengaluru and Hyderabad, led by giants like TCS and Infosys. We're looking at high-level scientific research from institutions like CSIR or the Serum Institute utilizing biotechnology to develop advanced vaccines for the entire globe. And of course, space tech. Chandrayaan-3 successfully exploring the lunar surface on a fraction of a Hollywood movie budget. Combine that with a booming AI and data science sector, and the sheer scale of innovation is just staggering.
Part 4. Impact on the economy.
So you might be wondering, how does this translate to actual power for the average person? 5 million. That is the massive number of professionals directly employed by India's IT BPM sector alone. It completely busts the myth that high-tech industries don't create jobs on the ground. It proves this sector is an absolute engine for high-level, well-paying job creation that lifts millions into the global middle class.
And it isn't just about massive job creation, it's about pure economic weight. 7.5%. That's the massive slice of India's total GDP that this single IT industry contributes. For an industry that essentially exports pure intellect and digital solutions, that is a tremendous economic footprint. It generates vital foreign exchange earnings and heavily anchors the broader economy.
But here's the real kicker. The Quaternary Sector acts as a massive multiplier. This newly created knowledge doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It aggressively modernizes every single traditional sector it touches. It brings smart irrigation and satellite monitoring to completely revolutionize agriculture. It brings heavy automation and robotics to industry, and essential telemedicine to remote healthcare clinics. It even tackles massive national-scale problems by providing predictive climate monitoring and advanced disaster management. It literally elevates everything around it.
Part 5. Roadblocks and Challenges.
However, no story of rapid evolution is perfect, right? We have to impartially examine the data to see what friction points and hurdles India must clear to maintain this incredible momentum and truly dominate the global knowledge landscape over the coming decades.
To create new knowledge, you absolutely have to fund the research. Yet, India's research and development spending hovers dangerously low at around 0.6 to 0.7% of its total GDP. Honestly, that lags significantly behind many developed nations who are pouring massive percentages of their wealth into R&D to secure future technological dominance.
And this lack of foundational funding cascades into other systemic roadblocks that need immediate solving. A stark digital divide between wealthy urban centers and poor rural areas threatens to leave millions out of this new economy entirely. Meanwhile, rapid tech advancements create a constant skills gap, requiring workers to continuously relearn their trades. Add in the brain drain of top, highly skilled professionals moving to lucrative jobs abroad, alongside massive cybersecurity risks as sensitive data goes digital, and you've got a complex web of challenges that require serious, coordinated policy responses.
Part 6. The Future Knowledge Economy.
Looking ahead, the landscape is gearing up for another massive paradigm shift. We're moving into an era dominated by an artificial intelligence revolution that's going to touch every single sector, from banking to farming. We're looking at a future heavily built on domestic semiconductor and chip design, securing a vital piece of the global supply chain. There's an entirely new private space economy taking off, alongside incredible breakthroughs in personalized medicine and gene technology. But perhaps most exciting is the potential for a true rural knowledge economy, using smart agriculture and digital education to transform even the most remote villages into hubs of digital productivity. I want to highlight this specific quote from our source material because it just brilliantly summarizes the entire explainer. The strength of India's economy will depend increasingly on its ability to create knowledge, develop technology, and convert ideas into innovations. Think about that. The most valuable resource a nation possesses is no longer just what can be mined from the ground, but what can be cultivated in the mind. With its unique blend of ancient knowledge traditions, a massive, increasingly educated population, and a booming digital infrastructure, India has an undeniable advantage. But the systemic challenges remain very real. So, how will India convert today's ideas into tomorrow's global innovations? I'll leave you with that provocative thought to chew on as we watch this incredible knowledge economy continue to unfold in the coming decades. Keep asking questions and keep learning.